As the summer races forward, so does the race debate in America. Stand Your Ground gave way to Stop and Frisk, and now The Butler, the hottest movie of the summer, has a director who says America is, get this, more racist since President Obama took office than before. More on that in a moment. But first, we know the Zimmerman trial ended weeks ago, so I was stunned when I saw this brand new political attack ad by the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, which reenacts the night Trayvon Martin crossed paths with George Zimmerman. The ad is provocative. It's dramatic, but is it fair? Before we show you the ad, we must warn you that it's very, very dramatic, a reenactment of that night, so beware if you have kids, especially younger kids watching.
Entrance is that he's heading towards?
The back entrance.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
All right, sir, what is your name?
George.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
Right.
There's gunshots. Jerry, get down.
Who's saying they shot who?
A guy is raising his hands up. He's saying he shot a person.
KG, this group, it's called the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, use the actual 911 tapes to reenact the scene. Did they go over the line to promote their cause?
Well, yes, because they're trying to say that they've determined, in fact, what the evidence is, what the facts are in the case in disregard to the trial and the verdict and the outcome. So this is a political ad. Obviously, they're trying to achieve a specific political purpose, and it seems like they'll do anything to get that end.
Bob, the group calls this a public service announcement. It seems more like an anti-gun attack ad.
It's public service as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is not about Trayvon Martin. It's about stand your ground laws, which are in effect in 20 states. They are a license to kill people. It's been proven in Florida. It's been proven in other places, and I'm glad they have it. I wish I had $1 million to give them to buy time for it.
You know, the scene at the very end, they had 26 bodies lined up, and they had the state of a name of a state above each body saying these are the states with stand your ground laws, and their point is that they're trying to create awareness around stand your ground, which states have it.
But again, he won based on self-defense. That's why he was acquitted,
right.
Not based on stand your ground law. So it's just like get equipped with the facts
they're conflating the same way President Obama did, the way Eric Holder did. Hold on a second. Dana, they say it's only on YouTube now, but they're trying to raise money to get this on TV.
Well, now it's on the 5, and it'll probably be other places. I mean, that from a PR perspective, you know, my hat's off to them. I do think that this is a solution in search of a problem. They're trying to figure out some way to gin up excitement amongst their base in order to get these stand your ground laws overturned. Now, maybe they'll be successful in some of these states. I kind of doubt it, though. If you look at the gun control battles all across the country, so there was the congressional one, and then in the individual states, all of them are failing. So I don't think this ad will probably do too much.
Your thoughts, BK?
Unbelievably produced. Whether you like the message or not, very well done. You cannot turn away from that. Seeing all the bodies at the end gets their message across. However, the message, as you said, it's looking for the problem. Great message. There is no problem. Stand your ground didn't play a role in the biggest case. And I was fascinated by the stat that we said, I think I filled in on this show and after the verdict. 1/3 of the stand your ground cases were used for African Americans in Florida. That is double the proportion of the population in Florida. This isn't a black or white or Hispanic issue. This is an issue of protect yourself, or is it a license for murder? Protect yourself for the gun owners, license for murder for those people who think it's too liberal.
KG, the prosecution was thinking about doing something like this. Whatever they put up there kind of fell far short of this. Could someone actually do something like this?
Well, here's the thing. It's because the judge didn't allow them to put in, quite a bit of evidence that they sought to introduce in front of the jury. It turns out, in fact, that they did not need it. So the judge, as many people pundits that were watching the trial, practiced attorneys that try a lot of cases, thought that the judge made some rulings that she shouldn't have. I think this was one of them. This type of evidence, if done right, is helpful and probative to a jury.
All right. Thoughts? You want to move on?
Yeah, but no, I want to say that it's 55 minutes before the hour.
56.
56, sorry. This is a much bigger, this is not about Trayvon Martin. This is a bigger issue about whether somebody can walk around this country and feel threatened. Your own determination. If I feel threatened, I can take a gun and shoot and kill somebody. And that, to me, is a dangerous environment in which to have anybody living. let alone dying.
Well, I'm not sure that's exactly the standard. I think you have to be fearful of your life. If
Well,
I'm
that's
not
what I mean.
mistaken.
Who's
You gotta prove
determined
it.
that? How do you
prove
prove that? You say, I'm fearful, so what?
Yeah, but a
Well,
jury has to
it
determine
doesn't
it's
add
reasonable.
up, you know, that you're fearful. Then you look at the situation, the same thing we just went through.
All right, let's move on. Staying in the race theme, what's going on lately? Lee Daniels, director of the movie The Butler, was asked last night if he thinks America is more racist now since President Obama came into office. Watch.
I think that people are angry that he's president. And I think that they're showing their true colors. I think that, you know, when Danny Strong wrote those words, any black man could be killed by any white man and get away with it. Trayvon Martin had not happened. I end the movie with hope, you know. He's walking down and Obama's giving that famous speech, you know. And then I come out of my edit room and Trayvon Martin has happened. So yeah, I think so. Sadly, I think so.
Dana, your thoughts on it? By the way, I don't know the answer to this. Did you know this guy, the Butler?
I think that I had a chance to come across him, but I didn't know him personally, no. But I know that the Bush kid, and in particular Mrs. Barbara Bush, when she saw the movie, said it brought her to tears. As I'm sure it's a wonderful story. Danny Strong is an excellent producer, an amazing writer. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is an exact storytelling of Lee Butler's wife, of the Butler's wife, excuse me. I just want to make one comment before you take it around the table about whether or not we are more of a racist country than before, if there's racism problems in America. I look around and I think at the highest levels of government, some of the best entertainers, all across journalism and the media, all across business, you have lots more diversity than you had when I was a kid. So I think that we've come a long way. I personally feel like I've probably come a long way. Well, I just don't think that it is worse than before.
Is the media pumping up the racism, playing the race card? And when I say media, I mean specifically things like this and Oprah, you know, promoting this film using a lot of racial terms, a lot of race baiting.
Well, I think this is clear. Does President Obama get elected without white people voting for him? Absolutely not. If African Americans were the only ones to vote for him, it would have been close when it got out of the primaries. Number two is people have amnesia. People hated George Bush. People hated Bill Clinton. It was personal. It was about their party. It was about their beliefs. But no one said, I don't like him because he's from Arkansas. I don't like him because he's from Texas. I don't like him because his dad's from Connecticut. I think when people look at Barack Obama, they love his policies. They hate his policies. I don't think they hate him. And I don't see the resentment because he's black. I don't see it.
I want to see this movie. I absolutely want to see it. I understand it's very entertaining, but I also understand it's very loosely based on fact, more based on fiction. The Butler's not from... You saw it?
Yeah, I know who he is.
He's not from Georgia. He's from Virginia. His mom wasn't raped by a white man. His father wasn't killed by the white man that raped his mom. It seems, Bob, like they're playing a lot of race cards in this movie.
Well, you know, I talked to a friend of mine who was in the White House with me, and he reminded me of who this guy was, and then I remembered him. And I didn't know anything about his background or anything about this story, but he's a very pleasant guy, and, you know, he's been there a long time. As many of the people, as Daniel will tell you, a lot of those people who served in the White House have been there for years and years and years. In fact, I think the chief butler was there for, I don't know, seems to me like 40 years or something. But
that's a different guy?
No, the chief of the butlers. Yeah, chief of the butlers.
There's a chief of the butlers?
Yeah.
Oh, like a chief of staff?
Well, listen, here's the thing. I want to say what Dana was saying, is that to suggest anything about Barack Obama being people hate him because he's black, I don't buy that for a second. There are people who were racist who didn't like because he was black to start with. They're still there. But is racism worse today? I don't think so at all. And I think it's gotten appreciably better since I worked in the civil rights movement. I can tell you that.
I agree with you. I think we're doing well. And I think we should continue to move forward and not try and pull people down and stir up the race problems and conflict just to achieve your own political purpose. I think that is reckless. I think we should try and move forward in a positive way with all the accomplishments. We have a black president. Right. We have many people, as Dana said, in positions of power and influence running this country and contributing from all different walks of life, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different ethnicities, and I think it's a great place to be.
But you also have more poor black children today than you've ever had before.
And you have quite a bit of poor white children as well, and a lot of poverty amongst whites.
The highest poverty rate in the last 50 years.
And Bob, you've talked about one of the reasons why, though, that a lot of the policies that have been in place, especially for urban America, haven't worked.
No, they haven't worked. And that's, I go back, I've said this before, but I'll repeat it. Those of us on the left have a lot of responsibility for some of this, particularly public housing and welfare, which we basically helped breed 3 generations of dependent people. Now, we got to reverse that, but that doesn't mean that you have to throw
how do you reverse it, though? I mean,
well,
honestly,
it's already beginning to be reversed. Public housing is much less of a.
But here's the question. I mean, our entitlement program, we're spending more than we've ever spent on welfare, on food stamps, on all the other entitlement programs. Isn't there a positive correlation between spending and giving away free money?
It is not the case that we're spending more on entitlement and welfare. We are certainly spending more in Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid. But in terms of poverty programs, they've been cut.
No, we're spending more now than we've ever spent in our entire existence.
Did you see
for women,
welfare and poverty programs, yeah. Absolutely.
Did you see some of the quotes from the stars like Cuba Gooding Jr., who's a great guy, he's been here before. He said he thinks there's been a real disconnect with the civil rights movement and the history of it, and I think the movie opens that dialogue so that you can make your decision as an African American or an American. What is the difference? I mean, am I Italian and Irish?
I heard
I can make my decision as a white American.
People still try to figure out what you are.
Right. I'm still trying. I'm a hybrid. Okay. I'm a hybrid.
Can we do this? Can we do a little quick update on the story we've been covering here? Stop and frisk update. New York City showed the largest gun bust in New York City history. Do we have the table with all the guns laid out? Do we happen to have that picture? I hope we do. If we
picture a table with a lot of guns.
Picture a table with a lot of guns.
Exactly.
But Brian, there was a 911 call or an email. I'm sorry. That said,
there are your guns, Bowling.
There they are. Those are
you recognize them?
Ooh,
the
thank
245 guns that were confiscated from someone who said they were concerned about walking around with the guns because they're worried about stop and frisk.
So they get an intercept, and it was released yesterday. Here's the quote from the guy, one of the guys in charge of corralling all these guns and selling them illegally. "I can't take them to my house. I'm in Brownsville, New York. We got whatchamacallit, stop and frisk. He's a 23-year-old alleged gunman who kept his guns down south because he can't because the stop and frisk cannot bring those
Can I point out that the message of this scene also was that one isolated incident, I understand that, but these guns came from North and South Carolina where there are lax gun control laws, and most of the guns that find their way into cities like Chicago, Washington, and New York are from states that allow the sale of guns without much oversight.
And where do they go, Bob?
What do you mean where do they go?
The illegal guns, where do they go?
They go to New York City.
No, they go into hands of criminals, right?
That's right. From states,
so what you're
because you can go buy them in states.
You're arming the criminals.
Who, by the way, I'd like to stop, question, and frisk.
Because the states allow for you to buy handguns indiscriminately in certain states. North and South Carolina, and Virginia is the worst.
And you want to stop and frisk?
I want to stop. I want to question.
Guns.
And if I have a reasonable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot and that they are armed with a weapon, I want to take it.
And if they stopped Plaxico before he shot himself in the foot, he actually would still probably be on the Giants.
See what I'm saying?
Plaxico Burress.
You know about Plaxico. Come on.
I should not have brought up.
We have the
NFL
segment coming up.